My fellow Ambalanders, dear soldiers of the Ambazonian Revolution, this is Dr. Cho Ayaba. 57 years ago, the devil crossed the Mongo River and took possession of homeland. They have consciously used terror to accomplish their aims, to protect what they presume are the spoils of conquest, to punish those who resisted its overbearing laws, to take vengeance with impunity against those they consider enemies, and to instill fear in patriots who might contemplate to become soldiers of the Ambazonian Revolution. This they have done and continue to do in the name of one and indivisible Cameroon. A mundane system riddled with apologies and reckless revisionists who dare not speak against the weak and crumbling despotic construct. They thought their brand was a terror of the powerful and invincible against the weak and defeated. Their mechanisms of dispossession have driven thousands of you into exile, where from the engine of the resistance to an extant black-on-black colonialism is being churned out of existence. The role of the citizens of Ambazonia diaspora is immeasurable. And while you may not die of bullet wounds like our brave patriots, the trauma of dispossession, the pressure of nomadic life, the continuous yearning for the familiarity with the things left behind, and the divide between your soul and your body makes life miserable. Home is home, and nothing else in life matters when you are dispossessed of your homeland. You may not go there. You may not even visit for 20 years. But when it becomes impossible to go back home, your very existence is put in doubt. They have dispossessed us of our homeland, but the Ambazonian spirit cannot be dispossessed. My fellow soldiers of our revolution, Cameroon has drunk our blood for 57 years, while diplomats, statesmen, and businesses have stood by and watched. Some have even fueled the war machinery of the BR regime, as they have waited for our people to be murdered. The United Nations that betrayed us has remained silent. The British who sold us have remained confused, and its actions have become deleterious to the life of the Ambazonian people. The French continue to fund, arm, and support the murderer system. This generation is the generation of warriors who take their coffins to the streets, commanders who bore tunnels in maximum security prisons, and defiant patriots who speak from the boreholes of the terror regime to inspire those who still doubt our capacity. Fighters who shout "Water na water," facing superior guns, bloggers who challenge the very nature of the oppressive systems, takumbans who undress themselves for homeland. Let me remind you that we made a covenant with one another. Be reminded that some who signed this covenant are not around to review any new imputations that might affect its content. Therefore, we must all stick to the original script, which require all of us to fight to the death for a homeland of our own, a place of dreams and hopes where giants and warriors lay their lives as the last claim to the ownership of Ambazonia. I pen down these words knowing the degree of uncertainty in the air, the lingering doubts as you read the script. But I am also consciously aware that you are a sacred optimist, with a sense of hope locked somewhere in your soul, which plasters a small flicker of a smile on your face. That Ambazonia is possible. That's where I want you to focus. Hope and optimism about Ambazonia. Hope and optimism about Ambazonia, and the pledge never to leave the journey halfway will give you the courage to fight on. Hope and optimism will fuel your engine of resistance that will change the lives of all those not around, those locked up, and the millions who look up to you, to give them what we all promise. Fellow citizens, fellow Ambalanders, my painfully acquired experience tells me that a fair distribution of risk will ensure everyone's survival. Therefore, our struggle must be seen as a campaign for our collective survival. The defense of the homeland is just a micro part of our collective strategy. We must fight with target in mind. Independence is not a target. It is an objective. Targets will help us measure how successful we have been in gaining our objective. For example, we set a target to make Ambaland ungovernable. We set another target to increase the cost of the occupation. We set another target to influence international public opinion in our favor. We set a target to get Cameroon stripped of the right to host the Nations Cup. Based on our objective and our collective assessment, we have achieved these targets, and we can conclude that we are making progress towards our objective. The successes we have gained are reversible. So as we set new targets, we must ensure to protect the gains we have achieved thus far. We must get Cameroon thrown out of the Commonwealth of Nations. The strategy is being designed, and as we approach the 10th of December, we must launch an international campaign to expose the butchers of Yaoundé. Our tools must be persuasion and non-violent coercive measures at the realm of the international system in a sustained and consistent manner. Let us be reminded that our disagreements today are a test of our political savoir-faire on issues of political brinksmanship. These disagreements also test our humanity towards those we call comrades and compatriots. How we deal with these disagreements will be a measure of how we will resolve differences in our new homeland. Fellow Ambalanders, you must be reminded that we were sold into servitude by powerful forces beyond our shores. Today your actions give hope under a new flag, freedom under a new system, liberty in a region of despotism, and equality where inequality once festered. To ever appreciate what we have achieved as a people, we must place our struggle within the context of history, while respecting its unique approach in the 21st century. We will not leave this task to the same gullible historians who once distorted our story in favor of the powers of tyranny that hung over us. We are writing our own stories. We are making our own history. It is time-tested. In the past 1 week, Mr. Biya has signed a decree to integrate Ambazonian fighters. In the process of reciprocity, we will be setting up an anti-terrorism institution to demobilize terrorist forces of Cameroon, all those who don't have blood on their hands will be sent back home. All Ambazonian fighters fighting within the terrorist forces of Cameroon who don't have blood on their hands will be integrated within the Ambazonian Defense Forces. All those who have murdered our people, be they Ambazonians or Cameroonians, will face justice. They will be put to trial for the crimes they have committed against our people. Or those who've engaged in torching our villages, raping our women, shooting at point-blank range our men, and driving thousands and thousands into exile, will be held accountable. This generation will not forgive. We will not forget. We will put you to trial. All those who've looted our resources, we will dispossess you of those resources and use them to build a new homeland for our people. You should be reminded, Amberlanders, we will fight to the gates of hell until we free our country. We will not any longer live under tyranny and oppression that has curtailed us of our right as citizens of a homeland who have the consent to decide the form of government to lord it over them. This is why you fight. This is why you are in jail. I want all Amazonian fighters who fight within Cameroon to look into the faces of the Cameroonian terrorist soldier and ask themselves what they are fighting for. Cameroonian soldiers are fighting to take over our country, to murder our people. What are you fighting for? I want you to raise your gun and ask yourself, who is the real enemy? Who is the one that has murdered your people? Who is the one that has dispossessed you of your homeland? Who is the one that has looted you of your resources, made you a slave in the country of your birth? When you have an answer to these questions, point the barrel of your gun on the real enemy. That will be the day you regain your humanity. You regain your manhood as a soldier of the revolution. God bless you all. God protect Amazonia.